You know that rare, shimmering moment when everything in your life finally clicks into place? The promotion is secure, champagne glasses are clinking, and every person you adore is gathered in one room, beaming at you. That was me. That was my night. I felt untouchable. Leo, my steady, warm-hearted husband, kept a gentle hand at the small of my back as people lined up to congratulate me. I floated through the evening wrapped in a bliss so complete it almost didn't feel real. And then life did what life always does. It yanked the rug from beneath my dancing feet. Because he walked in. Mark. My ex. The man I'd once nearly built a future with. The man whose proposal I had turned down after a deep, unshakable instinct whispered that he simply wasn't meant to be my forever. 5 years had passed since I'd last seen him, and yet the moment he stepped through that doorway, it felt like ice water had been poured down my spine. My smile froze. Leo's hand pressed a little more firmly against my back. A silent "Are you okay?" Mark wove through the guests with that familiar confident swagger, and suddenly he was right in front of me. "Congratulations, Sarah," he said, voice unchanged by time. And then he opened his arms. Just a hug. A polite, social hug. But in the split second before I leaned in, 1,000 memories detonated inside me. Our high points, our low points, all the unresolved ache of our last conversation. I hugged him, awkward and stiff. 3 seconds, maybe less. But in a room full of coworkers, friends, and my husband, it stretched into an eternity. When I pulled back, I met Leo's eyes. No anger. No jealousy. Just a calm, unreadable expression that somehow frightened me more than if he'd shown fury. I tried to slip back into party mode, but my laughter had turned thin and brittle. Mark stuck around, attempting small talk while my attention kept drifting to Leo. He had stepped away to the bar, quietly speaking with the bartender as he slid him a folded bill. Something about the gesture felt intentional, purposeful. Anxiety coiled in my stomach. 20 minutes later, Mark was midway through a college story I had zero desire to relive when the live music suddenly cut off. The soft piano melody evaporated mid-note. A hush swept the room. Leo was walking toward the small stage. My heart slammed against my ribs. This is it. He's going to confront Mark. He's going to make a scene. Humiliate him. Humiliate me. But when Leo reached the microphone, he didn't look at Mark. He looked at me. "Everyone," he said, his voice steady and warm. "May I have your attention for a moment?" The crowd went still. "As you all know, we're here to celebrate my brilliant wife, Sarah, her drive, her talent, her new promotion. I'm endlessly proud of her." A flicker of emotion glinted in his eyes, something tender and vulnerable. "But tonight," he continued, seeing someone from her past walk in, "it reminded me of something. It reminded me of how our own story began. It reminded me that love isn't just about finding the right person. It's about choosing them every single day." My breath caught in my throat. "And it reminded me," Leo said softly, "of a promise I made." He nodded at the pianist. The first notes of a familiar melody drifted through the room. Our song. The simple tune he once played on his guitar on my tiny apartment balcony, now woven into a lush arrangement with piano and cello. And then he began to sing. His voice wasn't polished or perfect, but it was raw, intimate, filled with a depth of love that hit me like a physical force. He sang about us, our first argument, the nervous laughter I can't control, the calm certainty he'd felt the first time he held my hand. Tears blurred my vision, spilling freely. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mark. Shoulders sagging. Head bowed. He understood. He wasn't watching a rivalry, he was watching a love so solid, so rooted, that his presence barely registered as a ripple. He was witnessing a story he had never been meant to finish. When the final notes faded, the room erupted into cheers, but Leo lifted a hand, gently silencing them. He stepped off the stage, walked straight to me. The crowd parted around him. He took my hands. And then he dropped to one knee. A collective gasp swept the room. We were already married, 3 years. What was he doing? "Sarah," he said, emotion thick in his voice, "I married you once. But tonight, I want to choose you again, in front of everyone who matters to us. I want to renew my promise to be your anchor, your champion, and the man who loves you more with every day we share." He swallowed. "So, Sarah, will you marry me again?" Silence fell heavy and absolute. I looked at this man, my husband, my safe place, who had taken a moment ripe for insecurity and turned it into the most breathtaking declaration of love imaginable. He wasn't fighting my past. He was reaffirming our future. I pulled him up, cupped his face, and my tears streaked onto his cheeks. "Yes," I whispered, voice shaking. "Yes, Leo. 1,000 times yes." We kissed as the room erupted into the loudest, happiest celebration I'd ever heard. The promotion faded into the background. Mark faded too. All that remained was us, and the extraordinary lesson my husband taught everyone that night. True strength isn't reacting to perceived threats. It's choosing again and again what, and who, you cherish most.